Attention! We accept super chats and memberships. All money earned directly goes back into the channel to allow for more giveaway prizes and perks for our viewers and listeners. The cost of running shows like this can be expensive and timely, but we do it for you. If you can help support the channel, we greatly appreciate it. But if you can't, all we ask is that you use your social media to share and support that way. We love you and thank you in advance. We would also like to thank our channel members. We have Saggy Melons, Benson's, Resident Justice, Prakash Swain, DC Talk with Extended, That One Carlos, Caden Reed, Nick Carr, John Rodell, Justin Hines, Billy Robert, Adam Silvestri, Kinky Sphincter, Sean Adame, Nick DePalma, Roblox, Marvel Ultimate, and Rhea. And remember, be respectful. I freaking love sushi. I love sushi. It was one of those things that I said, ugh, sushi. That you're gonna eat raw fish? But like many things, once you try it, I was addicted. And let's be honest, if you want a good sushi meal, unfortunately, you're gonna have to spend a little bit of money. You know, if you want a decent 3 rolls, at best $30, maybe 25. But in the city of Philadelphia, there are many places called buffets. They have these Asian bistro buffets, and they make sushi as part of the buffets. All you can eat sushi. Now, is the sushi high quality? Is it high grade? No, it's all right. It's okay. It's cheap. All you can eat sushi. And that's good enough for Jack. Your boy Jack, you know, unless you guys send more super chats, then you can go to better places. But with what you're sending these days, I have to go to the all country, and I love it. Well, Sunday night at around 6 p.m., I had a lot of sushi at one of the buffets. And then 12 hours later, I threw it up, which means in 12 hours, my sushi didn't digest. Folks, be careful what you eat and where you eat it. And let's just say I don't want to ever have sushi again. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and genders all across the spectrum, to today's episode of Jivin with Jack. I want to thank Ty, Austin, and Caden, and Saggy Melons for putting together Tuesday's show. I was not my normal pretty self on Tuesday. I spent most of the day in the bathroom and most of the day in my room and back and forth. But I appreciate all you guys giving your love and support to my co-host, Caden, to Austin, and for Saggy for stepping in, and, of course, Ty for producing the show. We have a lot to talk to you about. We're going to talk about, Peacemaker. We're not going to get into too many spoilers, but we'll talk about, is it that great? Does it suck? Is it up? Is it down? Is it overhyped? We'll get into that. I also have a few things to say about Book of Boba Fett. And then maybe later in the show, me and Caden, maybe with Austin, who knows. We're going to talk a little bit about Scream, which is coming out this week. But first, let me bring in my co-host with the most, the man with the $1 million voice, Austin Lean 316.
What's up, y'all? I'm awake. I'm here. I'm running off of.
You're not throwing up. That's fine.
Red Bull. Yeah, man, I heard. Obviously, you texted the group. I don't know where my Red Bull went, but I had a Red Bull somewhere that I need to find. But no, you texted the group chat. That you had some bad sushi and stuff like that, and I had this whole thing set up. I was going to do a big intro like you do, and I was going to talk about, you can't be getting yourself cheap gas station sushi because things happen.
It was one of those
I know. Oh, dude, but you can't.
All you need. My sister had the same sushi, so I happened to get that one roll that must have had something on it because she had sushi too, so she was fine. I must have had, you know what I mean? And
yeah. So I had a whole thing of jokes and all that good stuff, and then Caden kind of took over. Caden was the main attraction of that episode, but it was good.
He was having fun. I saw part of it. But when you're sick, everything sucks. Playing video games sucks. I'm like, oh, I'll play a little Far Cry. I'm like, I don't want to. Like your body's just. But not as bad as it's still not as bad. It's still like way worse than COVID ever was for me. COVID was just like I sound like Darth Vader for 3 days. I'm like,
oh yeah. I still haven't gotten the vid, so I'm.
Yeah. Well, maybe you have. You just don't know. There are a lot of people who got it probably thought they had the sniffles. Like it depends how good your immune system is.
That is true. That is true. Nicotina's in the chat. I know. What's up, Nicotina? He says Peacemaker sucks, Austin. Hey man,
I do have issues with it. Like I'm enjoying it for what it is, but I do have some issues. Well, you know me, I always have issues with everything. But
to each their own. To each their own. But hey, at least you watched it. At least you watched it.
I will say this about James Gunn. Stylistically, he's kind of like Joss Whedon, but he's more potty mouth. I've really noticed that a little bit. Like
really,
sort of like oh yeah,
I don't know now. That humor.
It's like a Joss Whedon.
That humor's not as dark as
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But like that type of conversation, like this will be a scene. Oh, hey, Jack, how do you like the glasses? Oh, thanks, man. These are Ray-Bans. You know, ever since I saw Top Gun when I was a kid, I love Ray-Bans. Ray-Bans are so freaking cool because Tom Cruise is cool. Like, that's like a Joss Whedon scene where, like, that will become the conversation for, like, 5 minutes instead of, like, actual drama. And they'll be like, hey, Caden, or Austin, I hate your yellow sweatshirt. You look like Winnie the Pooh. And you'll be like, Pooh? Winnie the Pooh is awesome, dude. I love Winnie the Pooh. Yo, third person will come in. Who doesn't like Winnie the Pooh? Jack here doesn't like Winnie the Pooh. Dude, what's wrong with Winnie the Pooh? And that will become a Joss Whedon scene. That's how he writes. From Buffy the Vampire Slayer to Avengers to Justice League. And then I think James Gunn kind of does that, but then he adds like some F words, some curse words. Or I'll be like, Austin, you're wearing a sweatshirt like a girl I banged last night. Or something like that. Like that's how James Gunn would change it. It's a little bit too much sometimes with the dialogue, but I'm surprised.
I can understand.
Has not like. I mean, I don't want them to, but I'm surprised they're not like.
I didn't think it was that bad. I definitely can understand. Right, he has a very kind of dark sense of humor and
I'm fine with
all that.
South Park, very South Park.
And there are some moments where I'm like, all right, this is a little much or whatever. But for the most part, I was really surprised. I went into it not really expecting to like it. I really liked it. Really, really liked it. I liked all 3 episodes. I thought it's written very, very well in that. Look, anytime that you can take a character, and I put a tweet out, anytime you can kind of take a character, right, that the audience or people hate, and make him even watchable.
See, I didn't hate him in the last movie. I
hated him.
He was when he was like,
I hated him. I hated him. But that is a testament, I think, to good writing, right?
We're not going to spoil anything, guys. Like,
we're not going to spoil anything.
But unfortunately, I was able to see like 2 episodes like while I was working, and one thing is that there's one scene that I'm going to. It's not a plot spoiler that I thought went too much, but I thought was hilarious. Is when he hooks up with a chick.
Oh, I love
and he just screams freedom. Like
look, there is very much like of the boys vibe to it. Right? As far as the crudeness, right? Exactly. And I will say this, in my opinion, it is by far and away, the best TV show DC has ever produced.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's on a whole, but this is what happens when you have a good writer and director. I'm not saying Gunn is a perfect writer and whatever, but I'm saying it clearly has a vision. And by the way, I need that font for the show for Jive with Jack. I was literally looking at them like, that's like my motif. High neons. The soundtrack, loved it. It's not like your typical rock song.
Right. He mixes the music
like Choir Boys. I'm like, dude, I haven't heard of them in a long time.
Some hard heavy metal. There was some good, man. It was besides a few things, like I said, some of the humor. It's not that it goes too far for me.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's too much at times.
Right. Exactly. But in the intro, it's just super cringe.
It is, but I can't stop watching it.
But you know what? I watched. I saw.
Well, I was actually going to make this comparison to Boba Fett.
Give me 1 second. I just want to say one quick thing. I saw James Gunn address that intro. he said the reason that he did that was because he wanted people to watch that show, go into it right from the beginning and go, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Which is very much true.
I will say this about Boba Fett show. I like it. I'm not in love with it the way it was with Mandalorian, just because they're going the Marvel route of taking a very long time to tell a story.
Right.
And it seemed like with 2 episodes, like 1 episode of Peacemaker, I got a full episode. Like, stuff happened. Stuff was kind of resolved in the first episode. Obviously you have a longer story to tell, without getting into spoilers. But, like, each episode, enough happens. Whereas with, I guess, except with the exception of episode 2, Boba Fett, like, it seems like they're still just building the story. And now at the end of episode 3 of Boba Fett, okay, now we know where the story's going. And and I kind of hated that a little bit with Hawkeye. Loki, I thought, had a great pilot episode. Like, it sets up the story. You're going to go after this evil Loki variant. Boom, now we know what the plot is. Now we have to go find the Loki variant,
I mean, I am torn because, look, Star Wars is – I love Star Wars. Star Wars is – oh, man, I really love Star Wars. But I got to be honest, the first 2 episodes of Book of Boba Fett were good, but they were a little underwhelming for me. They didn't really
could have been one big episode. I think just like they did with Peacemaker, they released 3. They should have released those 2 back to back. I think it would have flowed a little bit better.
It would have, exactly, and I think it would have given fans a little bit more of, a little bit more to reason to get invested, right? Because I haven't until episode 3 of Book of Boba Fett, which was a phenomenal episode.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
That was a great episode. Woo! Look at those twins. Besides episode 3, I think for me, Peacemaker hooked me, man. That's what I look for, man. You look for whenever you watch a new show, you want it to hook you on that first episode. You want to go, I'm invested. I don't know where this is going necessarily. Yeah. But I can kind of get some clues. I like it, Boba Fett was really kind of took the WandaVision route. First couple of episodes, you really don't know where this is headed.
It's really counting on you loving Boba Fett.
It really is. It really is, because there's been some good arguments that I agree with, and that while I loved seeing him escape the Sarlacc pit and all that, very cool. Yeah. It's not something I needed.
Yeah. The whole back. So, like, my question always was, and I know some fans have argued this, I was like, well, why is he, like, when he shows up in Mandalorian, all of a sudden he's like this really good guy. I'm like, he wasn't a good guy. We were like, oh, he was just a bounty hunter. He captured Han Solo. I'm like, yeah, and then he stayed and tried to help he tried to help Jabba the Hutt stop Luke, Han, and Leia from escaping. Like, if he was actually, he was a bad guy. Let's not get that wrong. His father was a bad guy. But now episodes 2 and 3 clarify that he went through some stuff.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was talking to Bradley. Okay. I was talking to Bradley about it, and that's exactly what I said. It was kind of like, okay, so this is why he's no longer the bounty hunter he once was. Now, this is why he's now an anti-hero.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. The only thing is, and I know this is just a small nitpick, just because I'm a Star Wars nerd, he's a lot older than I think Boba Fett should be, but I'm fine with it, I'm fine with it.
Yes.
He's 3 decades older, at least 2.5 decades older than Boba Fett should be.
They make him look pretty good. Him look pretty
and he got in shape. Last season in Mandalorian, he looked like me dressed up, like when I wear a tight t-shirt, my guts kind of hanging out. Like, he looked kind of heavy. I'm not trying to make fun of him, but, like, it was like, dude, he got in shape, though. Dude, he's 60. And, you've seen him without his clothes on a lot. And he,
this episode, he got tossed around.
Yeah.
Shirtless and stuff. Exactly. And, this was a great episode. But you know what? Like I said, Peacemaker hooked me from that first episode. Just a lot of great. Robert Patrick. The guy from the original Terminator.
No, Terminator 2. I'm going to say a conscious statement that will one day get me canceled. Might be my favorite, like, evil white supremacist, I guess. Like, the dude is like he's such a jerk. He's so evil, but you kind of like him.
There's a moment that you're like, oh man, and then you're like, oh no, he's still in.
Like killing blacks and commies. I'm like, oh my, okay, he's not watching this.
Right. No, it's definitely, he's that character, right? He's kind of, very much far right wing extremist type.
Well, I think, you know what? Cena described Peacemaker as a douchey Captain America. I would say that Peacemaker is kind of like a right-wing Captain America.
Yeah, extremist, right wing.
You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
he's not like you find out he's not too crazy about gays, but he's like, dude, I love lesbians. Do you guys scissor? Or is that a thing? You know, like someone who's like out of touch with like the LGBT community. So he lets to like, so scissoring an actual thing? I'm not sure. I've heard different things. Like immature country boy. Where are they? Are they like Minnesota or like Wisconsin or like North Dakota?
Yeah, somewhere. And obviously, it's a trailer and stuff, and
Yeah,
and all that.
and
Or not a trailer, but it's a kind of.
Like, and then you find out, interestingly enough, that his father, played great by the great Robert Patrick, was the original Peacemaker or had a similar role, but they call him the White Eagle or something, or the White.
Yeah, something like that.
They're like hiling him and stuff. I'm like, oh my.
It's great. It's great. He's got his pet Eagly.
Yeah.
Which is great. All around, it's a great. There is some surprises.
Yeah.
In the first couple episodes, and so it's just. It's a good show.
I think I gotta say this real quick. He was great in Terminator 2, but he's often overlooked for his performance. I don't know if you know this, but when in X-Files, David Duchovny left around season 7, and they brought Robert Patrick to fill in, he actually did a phenomenal job. He gets overlooked because everyone likes, Mulder and Scully. But with him gone, they brought him in as a second agent. He did a great job for like 3 seasons. He was really good. He wasn't a carbon copy of like Mulder. Right. And, obviously, at some point, David Duchovny came back, and then he left, and we never saw him again. But he actually was really good in that role as an FBI agent in the X-Files, and he doesn't get the props I think he deserves for that. But, he's a pretty decent actor. He's not aged well, because I think he literally just turned 60, but he looks like he's 80.
Right. Yeah, he looks like all hell broke loose.
He does, And it's a shame. He's a good actor. One of my favorite performances. Have you ever seen the movie The Faculty? Robert Rodriguez directed. It's a great movie. It's about teachers who are infected by aliens. Josh Hartnett's in it. He's in it. He plays like the football coach, total D-bag. Watch it. If you ever get a chance, folks, you like Robert Rodriguez and that Tarantino kind of late 90s era, watch The Faculty. But let's see who's in the. We got Casey Mack. Nola's here. Nick Carr's here. I saw Nicotina earlier. I forgot to say hi. Hey, Nicotina.
Yes.
Nick Carr. Thank you, Nicotina. Ty's here. Ty might be joining us. He's going to be possibly doing a video. BlackRock 316 is here. Marlon is back. I haven't seen Marlon in a while, or maybe I have. I don't know. Like last week, Sam Williams was here. I think I was like a good 20 minutes behind the comments because it was just me, and I was just like, someone was like, dude, you're like 10 minutes behind in the comments. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to answer everyone. But folks, if you get a chance, please use the super chats. It helps us a lot. Please.
Yes, and if not, please make sure to like the show, share it, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Put a hash brown on it and send it to the internet.
You already know. But yeah, no, man, definitely. It's been a good week with Peacemaker and Boba Fett and all of that.
You guys actually did the show that I wanted to do, which was I wanted to talk about Affleck and all that stuff. But I thought you guys did a good job, and I feel like I've already said the stuff I want to say about that.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like how many times am I going to say the same thing, even though I do that a lot? But like,
it's a popular subject, I will say. And there was some more news today. I know it's not necessarily on the docket, but I know we already kind of basically got through two of the three things.
Oh no, I'm going to go back to Peacemaker. I have some more stuff I want to say. Let's hit Peacemaker. Loosey goosey. Let's get again.
Okay, we'll keep it loosey goosey. Here, I'll take my shirt off. No, but there was a bit of news, right? Some Batgirl set photos ended up getting released, but nothing too spoilery.
Can you upload those, please?
Yeah, nothing too spoilery. Just some kind of Easter eggs, some newspapers from the set and things like that. But the newspapers do reference, for example, they do reference the Capitol bombing from BVS. So obviously. And come on, guys, you had to know this from the beginning, right? They're not going to erase everything from. They're not going to completely erase all of Snyder's movies and all of the events, and they'll keep what they want and all of that. So you have Lex Luthor, right, being interviewed, which apparently there's some upset in the spelling of Luthor. Luther was spelled incorrectly. It's not Luther.
Yes, Luthor. Oh,
However, this is a tabloid. It could be on purpose. It could
yeah,
be
the Tattler. Where have I ever heard the Tattler before? Is that a comic?
I don't know. Gotham Tadler. But we do have a super chat. Thank you so much, Casey Manning, for the $5 super chat.
Let's put that up there. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate it.
Very kind.
We've been monetized since May, and being monetized sucks. Like, if we, let's say, hypothetically made, let's say, $30 on the show, just from ad revenue, we only get like $3. I didn't realize how bad it was. It sucks, man. They keep most of that money, bastards. So, the Tattler of the Court of Owls. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. The Court of Owls.
The court, they mentioned the Court of Owls. Let's see. They just picking what works, what they like, etc. The rest. Very much so, Black Rock.
Owls tried to recruit me, says former circus child star. Is that Dick Grayson?
We do know, right? There was a mural released of Batman and Dick Grayson. So yes, it's very possible that Batgirl could introduce
Robin. I know the mural had a white Dick Grayson. So this is why I'm curious, because Batgirl is going to happen after the Flash, right?
Correct.
And we're assuming that the Flash supposedly is going to mix the two universes together, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So would this be the Robin that that's in the Batman 89? Whoa, Marlon!
Thank you, man.
Oh man,
that's super kind of you.
Wow, Marlon, you know what? From now on, any question,
what you want. What is LeBron looking for?
Anyways, thank you, Marlon. Appreciate that. Seriously, if you have a comment or a question or anything, please feel free to ask or stuff. But thank you so much, man. That is very, very kind of you. Marlon has been a long-time viewer and supporter of the channel. And hey, if you guys don't know, Marlon has his own channel. And you know what? Just for that, I didn't understand that drop either, Tyler. That's
I thought that was Kane. I think Kane did that. Ty's not here.
Yeah, that's why. But anyways, Marlon, just for that, I know you didn't put a comment or anything, but I'll tell you what, people. Marlon does have a YouTube channel. We'll put a link in the chat. Go check it out. He talks a lot about mental health and awesome stuff like that. I really love it. But I'll put that in the private chat so we can link it.
Okay.
For everyone to check out.
Yeah. So what I was saying was that I'm reading the Batman 89 comic. I have 3 issues so far. I think a 4th one came out, which is supposed to like kind of bridge the gap between the Flash and the Michael Keaton film. And in that, Dick Grayson is Marlon Wayans, or he looks like Marlon Wayans. He's a young African-American kid. He looks just like Marlon Wayans did in the early 90s. So I'm curious, if the universes supposedly merge, would we see a Marlon Wayans-esque Robin? But in the mural, we see a Caucasian kid.
That's the thing. I don't know exactly what it is.
Marlon, do me a favor. Put your channel.
I got it. in the private. Yep.
All right, you got it in the private. Thanks so much, Marlon. I really appreciate it. God love and bless you. And look, let me clarify something. I'm still a little bit upset that we're not going to see a continuation of the Snyderverse, or at least it doesn't look like that for the time being. And I still have a little bit of hope. You never know. Next year they might say, hey, we'll do the alternate universe on HBO Max. But one thing about that I did want to say, it's become evident. You know, Ben Affleck said that he couldn't figure out the script and he left. And I think a lot of us didn't buy that at first. We said, nah, this is all Joss Whedon and Hamada and Jeff Johns. But he kind of doubled down and said, no, I wanted to leave. Because a lot of us thought he was just saying that. He was playing politics.
Yeah.
Because,
but
like, no, he wasn't playing
and he's talked about, like we said, for weeks, the multiple factors that led to this. Not just his passion for the character dying out, age, just a lot of different things. Okay. But anyways, I do want to say, as far as the Robin stuff, I'm super excited at the prospect of having Robin on the big screen again. We haven't had Robin since Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Obviously we have Brendan Thwaites in Titans, who's
And he's not bad. I don't mind him.
he's the best part of Titans. I'll be honest with you. He is. He's the best part of Titans. I love him. And
do you think he should be a kid? Because I feel like visually, like, first of all, the whole concept of Robin seems like very un-Batman-like in hindsight. They introduced him during the Golden Age, like, hey, he has a kid sidekick,
I blame Titans for Titans came up with this whole narrative that Batman is some child abuser.
Which is why I did not mind, even though I don't like Batman, that Robin was a little bit older. He was like 19, 20. I'm like, okay.
Let me tell you something. Each Robin is great for their own reasons.
Yeah.
Right? You have Dick Grayson, who very much is not necessarily the son figure to Bruce, but more so almost like a very much younger brother, because they have very similar experiences with the death of their parents and the things like that, right? They share all that. Jason Todd, however, is very much that son figure. He's rebellious, he's all that, and Bruce is constantly trying to correct him, protect him, to stop, and do all this. So each Robin has their reasons, right? As to why it's not like he just goes and picks some kid off a street and goes, "Hey, kid,"
who are going off in a direction, and he's trying to course correct. It's funny you mentioned that. I always thought that like Bruce's relationship with Dick is dependent on who's writing him. Some people will write him very paternal, very father-like. Some will be like a disciplinarian. Dick, focus on your work.
I always do.
It depends on who's writing him.
I always feel like Bruce does look at Dick almost like as an equal to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But he doesn't allow him to exercise that, like when they're together. And that's why Dick goes off and becomes Nightwing. He's kind of like, I don't know. Oh God, no. Have you watched Peacemaker? In the comments, hey, I gotta shout out my guy real quick.
Right here.
Coming back next Thursdays. We're coming back, baby. Comic Nerd Rave. My co-host Ty. What's up, man? Good to see you in the chat.
His name is also Ty.
Christopher. His name is also Ty, but we call him Ty Dolla $ign, like the rapper. But he says, Robin stuff. You never seen Titans? Well, don't, because it's trash. Let's see, Casey. Let's see. Still wish we could see Christopher. I wish we could see Joseph Gordon-Levitt, as I think he would make a very good Dick Grayson or Nightwing.
Yeah.
But obviously that ship has sailed. Bruce treats Dick like an alcoholic father who can't.
I'm struggling to get through Doom Patrol season 3. I saw like the first episode, then I tuned out.
You know what, man? Even that's the thing. I even heard people who like even people who like Doom Patrol like a lot, that this season kind of fell off.
I mean, I didn't hear any buzz about it.
Nope. The only buzz
kind of have some weird episodes, and sometimes I kind of have to like struggle through them. I know some people like it. I'm like, all right, whatever, it's weird. But like, there's been way too much focus on this little girl for 2 seasons now, and I'm like,
oh man, Titans. I'm sorry, Adam. I got to disagree strongly with you there.
Titans. I didn't continue watching Titans. I just kind of
Titans is trash. No, man, it's just and look, here's my thing. This is kind of where I'm starting to realize something, right? As far as my gauge of what comic stuff I like, comic related stuff. When they start to completely make up their own story, and I'm not saying right like how Marvel does. Marvel takes something, they change little things, maybe they give some powers or combine some characters and stuff, but they keep an overall. They always refer and take from the comics, always. DC is starting to go down a very concerning direction, in that they're doing stuff that is not even in the, like, for example, Titans did things, Jack.
Yeah.
That I swear to God, I don't get like passionately like upset that often, when it comes to Batman, I do, especially how they treat that character. Titans disrespected Batman in such a way.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, it was, and they did so many other things. Some stuff with the Lazarus Pit that was just like, okay, this is definitely not comic accurate.
Yeah.
It just was too much, and they're starting to do. It kind of feels like the same thing with. We don't know yet. We'll see when the movie comes out, but if the rumors are true, and the Flash sets up this whole Supergirl, Batgirl, Shazam, Justice League, knockoff Unlimited type piece of crap team, I just, it's just weird to me, man. Like you're
You think
literally
they're hoping, and I'm going to sound like nerd-erotic here for a second. You're hoping
it's woke. It's woke. We're going to the DCU. Welcome to the DCEU.
that they're thinking like rather than they're like, hey, we'll have people of color who are women as the leaders, and that'll sell tickets. Like they're just hoping on that. Like that will somehow, score some points.
Look,
because let's not deny that approach exists.
So does that approach exist? Yes. Is it possible? I do kind of think it's probably possible that they're trying to reach right to the younger millennial audience, Gen Z, all that, right?
But I think they're already into
which I'm fine with. My issue, right? This is where I think we have to be logical as comic book fans. My issue is not that they're girls or women. I could care less. In fact, I am incredibly excited to see both iterations of Supergirl and Batgirl. Both actresses are phenomenal. They look great. I can't wait. I really can't. Those two are part of why I'm so excited for the Flash. My issue is, again, that team doesn't even exist in the comics.
Yeah.
What? Again, and on top of it, you haven't even given me, because I'm sorry, Zack Snyder, love you, great movie and all, but 20 freaking minutes of Superman in a 4-hour freaking movie, because I can't say the real freaking F word on here, so I'm going to go full freaking Dr. Evil. 20 minutes of Superman in a 4-hour movie. Sorry, it's not Justice League.
To be fair, though, you're going to get 2 more movies, and
whatever. It wasn't Justice League. You don't.
Affleck is out.
Affleck's gone. Why
not use Cavill right now? The guy is. It's not like he's Brandon Routh, who's not had a great career.
Again, that's where you go back to the just executives, and it seems like they're trying to figure out what the right decision is to make and stuff, and they can't really figure it out because they keep making these weird decisions that aren't. I can't judge them yet necessarily because I haven't seen the movie, and I'm not going to, but they just, until I see that whole movie, it just seems weird to me. And so the executives, man, they're just, I think they're all over the place at Warner Brothers, and they don't really know.
I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean,
but at the same time, man, let me ask you how you feel about this, because I'm starting to get to a point where it's like, some of these people, it almost feels like you'll never make them happy. Specifically, some of these Snyder fans, right? If they don't get the Snyder cut, or if they don't get, even the ones that are like, okay, if Snyder's not coming back, if they don't get their way, it's the highway.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with that, but then I also give them the leverage that if the Flash movie underwhelms, if Batgirl and Supergirl don't knock it out of the park, they can just say, I told you so. I told you so. And they will have every right to say that. But you can't say it just yet. You have to wait to see it, especially after No Way Home and how good that was.
Exactly. And look, here's the thing. Let's see. First of all, Tyler says, I just want to see an R-rated independent original story idea where we see Joker meets Saw meets dark horror film Dear God, Tyler.
Are they making a Joker 2? Is that actually confirmed?
I think they are. I think they probably
I
are.
hope not. Why? They should leave it alone. That was such a well-made film. Just leave it alone.
No, I that would be pretty wild. Let's see. The way they rushed Justice League was just sad. You know what, man? The way they rushed all of it was sad.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
I still enjoy it. Look at that.
I say this all the time, man. I watch those movies all the time. Good. Oh God, sorry, Jurassic World. Hold on. You know? Bam.
Yeah.
Got them all.
So I got you beat. I have like 3 copies of them now because I have the original Blu-ray. I have the original Blu-ray. I bought the individual BVS and Man of Steel 4Ks. You know, Man of Steel released a new 4K, and then I bought the box.
See, I'm getting that next. But look, I watch these all the time. I love them. Okay, they are my guilty pleasure films. As much as, because let me tell you something. Anyone that tries to argue this is a masterpiece is dead freaking wrong. It's an opinion. That's fine. Right? Love it. I like the movie a lot. I watch it all the time. It is far from being a great movie or a movie that will be well regarded or looked at or studied in cinema. Sorry.
You're right. It won't be studied in cinema, but people will talk about it. And here's what I say about that movie. That movie is not as well made as most Marvel movies, but it is more interesting than a lot of what Marvel puts out. You can go in there and kind of analyze even the broken parts. It's sort of like a symphony with a bad conductor, or like a symphony with a couple of missing instruments. The music at sometimes swells and it sounds gorgeous, and other times it's clunky.
No, but here's the issue,
like a pop song. Does that make sense?
Issue. Kind of, but my main issue with that film is that comment that was said earlier. It is so clear. It is so clear. It is so abundantly obvious to comic fans and the general audience, because the general audience rejected that movie. Let's not forget that, you know, just because we like
and everything Warner Brothers has done since then has been in reaction to that.
Exactly.
Warner Brothers did this to be spiteful. They were like,
exactly. So here's the thing, man. That movie just completely rushes this universe.
Yeah.
They want you to go, okay, you got Man of Steel, plop, here's Batman versus Superman, get ready, the Justice League are coming.
Yeah.
By the way, you have no context into this universe's Batman because it's not Chris Nolan's. By the way, we're going to throw Wonder Woman in there. We'll give you the Trinity. By the way, we're going to give you about 5 of the biggest DC comics and most well-known DC comics that have ever been made, and we're going to put them in this film to just kind of, you know, tease everyone and give you the goods and all that. We'll put it on screen. It looks pretty. Yeah, Death of Superman, Doomsday. You get the Dark Knight Returns with the lightning in the back shot and, you know, all these great things, right? All to just rush this story and rush it and kind of force it on audiences. Like, here, take this. Justice League is coming. And it's like, it's a lot, man. Like, I walked it out. I continually say my biggest complaint walking out of that movie was I said, the fact is whoever directed this just kind of missed and wasted every good opportunity they had. Because I can see the good opportunities in that movie. There's some great opportunities in there, and you just kind of
in some ways you could argue it sort of worked because Wonder Woman did pretty well, and Aquaman, I was surprised Aquaman made $1 billion. I was shocked. I mean, I knew it was going to make good money, but I didn't think it was going to make $1 billion.
And that's the other thing, man. You cannot. I'm sorry. That argument. Oh, you know, Batman versus Superman. It didn't need to make $1 billion. Blah blah blah. Didn't need to. It should have. And guess what? If I were an executive at Warner Brothers, you bet your ass I would have fired Snyder if it didn't. Period.
Yeah.
Period. You have 2 of the biggest DC IP characters. Not 2, because you gave away that Wonder Woman was in it in the trailer. You have 3.
And Doomsday.
You have the Trinity, which guess what? People, especially my generation, are very well known and very well versed with the Trinity. They grew up on Justice League. They grew up on Justice League Unlimited. And all I can tell you right now is that like
I'm going to disagree with you about Wonder Woman. I actually like how they introduce her by not telling you who she. I mean, obviously we knew she was Wonder Woman, but like I like the way that she's kind of integrated the story. Like, who's this lady? It's like that song. Who's that lady?
But
and obviously we the fans know. And then when she shows up, you want to know more about her, and boom, her movie comes out next. I actually thought that worked. Aquaman, yeah, but like,
yeah, this is
they
the
didn't
thing.
really introduce him. They just said there's this thing that exists.
That's the thing. Aquaman made $1 billion. Aquaman.
Yeah.
Aquaman.
And I don't even think it's a good.
And
great movie. It's not a bad movie.
The 3 biggest DC characters of all time over Aquaman didn't make $1 billion. Didn't cross it. Didn't happen. That argument of like, oh, Batman versus Superman didn't need to make $1 billion. No, it didn't need to. It should have. As a business, because guess what?
Stop doing your impression of Caden. Stop it.
Hollywood is still a business. What is my impression of Caden?
You're like,
oh, Jack, the savagery. Oh, no, I'm kidding. No, I mean, look, man, that's just kind of my thing. It's just
here's the thing, and I've said
argument for me is kind of it's over with. Aquaman made $1 billion, a very, very lesser known character than Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think that had they released the extended cut.
Did Batman versus Superman not release in China? Caden, can we find that out?
I know The Dark Knight didn't because China didn't like the scene.
So China was taken off 10 days before. Like, well, they had internationally and domestically, it had a 10-day extra added to it. It's theatrical, but China did it 95 days. So it was 95 days.
So was it released in China?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
I think it was,
yeah. That's all.
But I always said that, like, if they had released the extended cut, would have still gotten mixed reviews. Yeah, but I think they would have been on firmer ground.
Okay.
I do think it's a movie that flows. But the theatrical cut was on a couple months ago on like TNT, and I'm like watching it. I'm like, oh my god, this is bad. It's just it's just scene after. It's just scenes put in a row, like stacked on top of each other. There's no flow to it. And I don't know if that was the studio who did that, but like I still think if they had released the extended cut, would we still be arguing about it? Yeah, but I think it would have done better. I think the voices that would have loved it would have been a little bit louder than they were, and more people would have gone to see it. And even if that had crossed 900 billion or reached $1 billion, let's say, right. But you also have to remember, they're coming off The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, which both grossed over $1 billion, and those were solo films. The Dark Knight was the first comic book movie to make $1 billion, so they're thinking this should make $1 billion at least.
And I wanna address a comment too that RJ made kind of a little bit about. I know we're super behind in the comments, guys. So it's you know how we get all riled up and fun stuff. So RJ said Zack set up an Elseworld storyline, not a cinematic universe that the studio, and that's the ultimate thing, right? The studio asked him to set up a cinematic universe. He gave them what his version of a cinematic universe, which was a very closed and tight-knit story that he was very much in control of and didn't leave a lot of room, because people forget, like the same people that are getting upset about the 70-year-old Keaton stuff are forgetting that Batfleck was an older Batman that was set to die. And you know who was going to take over the mantle? The son of Superman and Lois. I'm sorry, never mind. The stepson of Superman, the son of Bruce and Lois. What the again, like I completely
wait. That was going to be what? What was going that was going to be the original plan for Snyder?
That was going to be Snyder's end.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing. And I'll say this about Snyder. A lot of us saying we got to see Zack's original vision, and I'm like, actually, you didn't. You know, for the research we did a little documentary. Mm-hmm. The version of Justice League that we saw, the Snyder Cut, is not what he had originally intended.
Correct.
He had some crazy ideas in it. And I'm glad the studio's like, whoa.
Yeah.
In fact, our former colleague Justice used to say that it seems to me that the studio stepped in, he listened, and he ended up writing a better Justice League movie than we would have gotten had he just gone full Zack Snyder. Yeah, there's this whole thing
Absolutely.
with Lois and Batman, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I want
Dick
that.
Grayson stuff is weird. A lot of things. I do want to say, Ty, I completely agree. Let's see. Yeah, Aquaman made $1 billion after the box office failure of Justice League and Batman versus Superman. So yeah. that's a big testament. But I agree, Ty. Aquaman was the running joke, and it made $1 billion, and that's true.
Yeah, he's not a joke anymore, man. Now when I think of Aquaman, I think of Jason Momoa. Like I don't think of the guy from the Super Friends with the,
Yep.
And they worked the silly outfit in. I was like, remember for the longest time they were like, well, they're not going to put him in that, yellow and green outfit, and they put him in the yellow and green outfit.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. Let's be honest. Aquaman's personality in those movies is not like how we always normally see Aquaman. They turn him into a dude, bro, and I'm like, whatever works. You got to give him personality. You can't just have
wasn't necessarily that too, right? It was the Pacific Islander, thing that I thought was what a really cool.
That was Zach's idea.
That I love. That was great.
And Boba Fett is his dad. People forget.
Say what?
Boba Fett is his dad. Tamora.
Yeah, that's right. Tamora. Yep. I mean, look, again, right? It's at the end of the day, I think Zach's stuff would have been great as an.
I think 2 and 3 would still be phenomenal if we got to see it. But again, he needed a better writer. He needed a different writer.
Not only that, man. I think at this point, it's just Zach did a great thing. A couple things, right? Gave us some great casting. Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, man, Jason Momoa. His casting, untouchable. It's untouchable. Outside of that, the more and more I think about it, the more
hold on, let me give him some more props. He has some great ideas. He's a great whoever he hires for cinematography is phenomenal because I wish a Marvel movie looked like DC in terms of the way it's framed and filmed. He's a great cinematographer. He got Hans Zimmer, and the music is good. Aside from the Avengers theme, a lot of the Marvel scores are forgettable. His scores are great. There's no wink and nod moments in his movies. Like in Marvel, like I love the Stan Lee cameos, but to the last 10 years, they kind of got out of hand. Whereas it was like, hey guys, that's Stan Lee. This movie isn't real. This is all make believe. Wink. Whereas they're not gonna do that in DC movies. They're not gonna be like, hey, look, there's Bill Finger or whatever. I know he's dead.
Bill Finger.
Yeah.
I mean, look, man. For me, I like.
I'm going to disagree with you, Galaxy. I'm going to disagree with you. I think he tells a good story if he has a good writer. If you look at his best work, 300, Watchmen, he had other writers.
Watchmen's incredible.
Taking that, I say the same thing about J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams is a good director when he's not writing his own stuff. When he writes his own stuff, you get Rise of Skywalker. What was the first one called? Force Awakens was not written by him. But even though I have issues with that movie, it was still a better flowing film. J.J. Abrams, when he writes his own stuff and directs it, and there's a reason Spielberg doesn't write scripts. Spielberg is a director. He's like, I don't write scripts. He works with other writers. He will film that stuff. Tarantino, completely different. Tarantino is in his own world. He's a good writer and a director. But that's it. Chris Nolan is a weird writer. Chris Nolan, when he has too much control, you get stuff like Tenet. Sometimes you need the studio to step in and be like, yo, let's easy there.
Here's the thing. It is getting tied, said this, and I agree, right? It's getting to a point where, like I said earlier, what in the hell is going to make you people happy?
Yeah.
You complain, people are complaining. If it's not 100% the continuation of the Snyderverse, we're upset. Mm-hmm. If it's trying to keep a couple things, like the Capitol building and still that and all this other stuff, we're gonna freak out because they spelled Luther wrong. But
you know what that points to? That I think this is what it points to. Is a lot of fans are like, if they had comic book fans in there, don't you think someone would have noticed? Like, dude, you spelled Luther wrong. Like one comic book nerd there,
I don't know if it's because that, like I said, that's a DC tabloid.
Look, I'm still holding out. I'm holding on hope. I'm holding on to hope. Hope, Alfred, hope. I still have hope. I never know what happens next year. If we did get Justice League 2, it would not be what Zach originally intended. They said, Zach, this is the current DCEU as it is.
You know what? And That very may well be it. And guess what? If Snyder rejects that because he wants to do his vision and stuff. Oh, Snyder fans will
See,
not
here's the
take
thing.
that
I want to see
happily.
Justice League 2, but I would still, at this point, I would want to see Shazam involved. I want to see some of the Birds of Prey involved, maybe Harley
Well,
at
I
least.
think ultimately his plan was to have that third film bring in everybody. But again, it was just going to be it was all very Snyder centric. It didn't really consider the rest of the DC EU. I mean, I don't know what Snyder's plans were, but I just people don't want to admit it, but there are a lot of people basically that just want Zach to run the show, and we'll find exactly. But people want Zach to be Kevin Feige. They want him to be the one setting the course of direction on where all this
Which I don't
is
think
going and all that.
was the plan, was it?
No. I think that again. Okay, let me tell you something.
Hold on,
Jack.
real quick, Anthony. Jay Olivia's a big fan of Snyder. I'm still a big fan.
Yes.
It sounds like we're hating on Snyder, but it's just mostly Austin.
Yes. But let me tell you something. If we know that he shot almost, a 4-hour movie. He shot a 4-hour movie during the production of Justice League and stuff. How much more footage do you think there was for Batman versus Superman and stuff? How much? So the studio, I think, again, they told him, "Hey, man, set up our universe." He started to do this thing where it was all going to kind of close and lead up to an end, this 5-film arc, and and I think they kind of saw where that was going and was like, "Okay, this isn't what we asked for." And that's where things, especially with Batman versus Superman, that's probably where things started to clash. In that, he was after the first Superman film.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I also understand that because you're limited to a universe, a cinematic universe, you can only do so many stories. I love Captain America: Civil War, and you have to admit that it's a completely different story from the Civil War in the comics. But I'm like, you know what? I get it. You can't do a 5-year multi-film Civil War. You got to do it in one movie. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the story
But
to 2
they'd gotten years worth of films to get up to Civil. You gotten 2 Avengers films.
Yeah.
That led up to Civil War. That established this team. That established, all right, this is a team with issues and kinks and all this stuff, right? And there's problems.
Yeah.
So I just, that's the thing. He tried to do that in 3 movies.
See, I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure if that's true because I think originally Captain America was going to be Serpent Society, and then after it was announced that remember, because it was announced Batman vs Superman was announced back in 2014 that was coming. Then they were like, okay, let's do a Civil War. If I recall, Marvel wasn't planning on doing Civil War, and when they did, I forgot who the head of Disney was at the time. It wasn't Bob Iger. He was actually trying to be like, no, we can't have Robert Downey Jr. in it. We can't have all the Avengers. Do something smaller. And then Kevin stepped in and was like, no, let's make it as big as the Russo brothers want it to be. Let's make it Avengers 3, for lack of a better word.
Exactly.
And so it's not like Marvel had planned all along, this Civil War's coming up.
I don't know, but I think they do. They have an idea. They know where they want to go. They know, right? I think they have endpoints that they can. There's room to play around in the middle, but it's like, okay, we're gonna end with Civil War. We're gonna end with Endgame. We're gonna end.
Was it Iger? Okay, Iger is also responsible for the cancellation of Twin Peaks. You bastard. Sorry. When he was head of ABC. But I remember there was a story where he was like, all right, we can't have all these guys in it. This is supposed to be a solo film. And I think it was Feige was like, all right, you know what? Let's go with it. Let's get RDJ. Let's get the rest of the Avengers. I mean, all the Avengers, except for Thor. Thor is the only one who's not in Civil War. Which, by the way, means that Avengers, what's it called? Age of Ultron is the last time we have the original Avengers all together.
Yes.
Because in Infinity War, they're split off.
Yeah.
And then Vision and Wanda are gone. Yeah, it's kind of sad.
And yes, Ty, I agree, right? Even if Zach came out and said, I'm not doing it, his fan. And yeah, that's the thing, man.
I don't think that would ever happen. I think
here's the thing.
Still do it.
Oh, I don't think so. Because here's how
Warner Brothers came to him and said, look, this is our new universe. We have Batgirl, we have Supergirl, we have more characters for you to play with. I think you would still. It might not be Justice League 2.
No. But it wouldn't. But here's the thing: they are now distinctively setting course away from the tone and the vibe of the Snyder movies.
Yeah, but are they going towards a Marvel vibe? I'm not sure if I'm crazy about that.
I don't know necessarily if they're going towards that. They're definitely, if Suicide Squad and Peacemaker are an indication, they're definitely going for a more adult vibe. But I don't know if Dark and Death is the way that they
Freedom!
Want, right? Free, right, exactly. But look, I think that if it happened, they'd probably come in. They go, look, we respect you as a director, all of that, the new management and stuff. You want to direct something, you can. It's got to be in the confines of our universe, where we're headed as the direction of our films and stuff, and yada, yada, yada. And that's where I think he'll go, okay, so I don't get to do my original plan.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean,
deuces.
Really. I hope he wouldn't be that obtuse. I really hope he'd be like.
I wouldn't say that's obtuse. I wouldn't say that's obtuse at all. I mean, look, I that's honestly, if I were in his shoes, that's probably what I would do.
Really? But like,
look, man,
now,
you've already given up. You've already canceled, or not given up, but you've already what do you call it? You've given in on two of your films.
Yeah.
With these people, you've compromised your vision. I don't see him signing up to compromise his vision. And on top of it, the Snyder Cut, he did a good job with how it ended. It can end right there.
Yeah. Actually, it's interesting when you say they did 35 minutes. Snyder's Dark Side seemed like an opportunity for the most. You know what's interesting? It's crazy in hindsight. Let's say Snyder got his way and a modified version of the Snyder Cut, let's say a 3-hour version came out November 2017. They would have basically been ahead of the curve from Marvel in terms of introducing the big bad villain. Darkseid would have been introduced. Yes. Then we would have seen Thanos. Then we would have seen going back in time, trying to alter the Bruce trying to fix the timeline. They would have been actually really ahead of the curve. It's interesting to think about that alternate reality where Zack did get his version of it. I'm curious. This is kind of a weird thing to ponder. Tell me what you think about this. Zack, the unfortunate tragedy in Zack's life was sort of like the first domino. Had his daughter not passed away, what kind of Justice League do you think we would have gotten in 2017? Because they still wanted a 2-hour version. It wouldn't have been the Joss Whedon version, but do you think it would have been a heavily edited version of the version we got? I don't know how you probably,
I think he probably would have been able to get them to give him another 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
I think that I think that basically he would have had to given up on a lot of slow-mo, probably take out the whole yodel scene. Probably had
to cut the Kersey Clemens scene out completely. I think they would have introduced him talking to his dad like they did in the Joss Whedon version.
There's a lot of stuff that is cuttable.
Real quick, I have to address this. Twin Peaks season 3 is really.
You triggered him.
I get it because I didn't like it at first, but it was a pure work of art. It was not the Twin Peaks that I'd gotten before. But ever since I last saw it in 2017, I went back and I rewatched it. It is the closest thing I've ever seen to a living work of art. It's like a mural. Whoa. And I am not a modern art person. I despise modern art, but that was truly something unique. And it is not for everyone. You won't hear me tell Austin, Austin, have you ever heard me tell you should watch Twin Peaks?
You've told me many a times.
No, I've told you should watch David Lynch stuff. And when you said you didn't like Blue Velvet, I'm like, all right, good. That's not for him. It is not for him.
No, you have told me. You have told me to watch Twin Peaks.
Oh, really? Okay. But I haven't pushed it like I have Cobra Kai.
You've gotten pretty pushy. I think you sent me some things in the mail, and I had to. We had a conversation.
What did I send you in the mail?
Totally kidding. Oh my God.
I thought you were like. I was like, what the hell?
Oh my God! I love you. Were like, for a second, you were like, Have I really been
antidote
drinking?
to the politics and all those woke storylines in so many shows today. You know, I was watching an episode of You where measles came up.
Wait. When did I mention measles?
I don't know. It was on You.
What?
Oh yeah, that is pretty funny. Although I do think that I saw that. So basically, you know what that is? So there's a show called You. So the guy
I've
on the
seen
right,
that clip. Fast.
yeah, he's telling like you should see that show You, and she's like,
We
I
need to
never
either
saw
get
it.
some more clips or Caden.
Yeah,
you got
that's
better-
not me. That's not me. I'm not doing that. That's all. Katie.
Yeah, he's got to better curate the
Yeah.
timing of these clips.
Yeah, but like, if Autumn did, yeah, it's a weird conversation. I don't even think we would have gotten the maybe could he have done it in 2.5 hours? I don't know. It might have felt like BVS. It would have just felt like, wait, there's a lot of parts missing here.
Yeah.
Oh, that whole episode is so surreal, man. Episode 8 of Twin Peaks. This is I'm not talking about Twin Peaks ever again, unless David Lynch gives us a 4th season.
Oh, man, he's
yeah, You is one everyone's been telling me about. That was y'all's in a
great show. So I haven't seen You.
I haven't seen You. I just saw one on Bravo called Imposters, and I'm like, why
Bravo?
Yeah, and it was on Netflix, and I watched the first season. I'm like, why was the show canceled? Then I'm on season 2. I'm like, okay, this is why the show was canceled. They didn't know where to take it. It was like Prison Break. Like once that plot is over, you're like, okay, now what do you do with them now that they're out of prison? Like they didn't know where to take it. And this show had a very specific plot that once it got resolved, they didn't know where to take it. But it was a pretty good first season. Oh, is it a murder show? I still haven't seen Dexter. And Austin, you saw Dexter. You said you liked it.
Oh my God, man! The newest season of Dexter was. I mean, look, it was a great show. It was a better ending finale than the first time. They still kind of slap you in the face a little bit, but look, man, it was great to see Dexter back, and I'm a big fan of Dexter. Dexter's phenomenal.
The second season of Dexter is like some of the best television.
Oh my! It is so good. It's some of the best TV I've ever watched. This new season,
Did you ever see like the first 2 seasons of Homeland?
No. Like
it reminded me of 24 because they had the same guys as 24. I mean, well, 24 back at its peak was something else. I mean, the first like 6 seasons of 24 are like phenomenal, but Homeland, the first 2-3 seasons of that show were really effing good. I mean, it was like 24, but like R-rated, like it dealt with like counterterrorism and stuff, but like on a more like heavy thing. But Homeland was so freaking good. I mean, folks, if you haven't seen it, Mandy Patinkin, who everyone knows from
Patinkin.
What's that movie called? My name is whatever, and I'm here to kill you. Inconceivable. What's about The Princess Bride? Princess Bride. Yeah, you know, once I found out that he wasn't her father, I don't know. Like it was so. That was another good show I really liked. Yeah, go ahead, Austin. But yeah, so let me say this about Homeland. Yeah, Homeland was a really good show, and I'll say this about BBS. It is a movie that I can go back and watch again and again, and I still pick up so much detail. Am I saying it's a well-made movie? No, but it's a movie that I can go back, rewatch. I used to do this a lot before the Snyder Cut came out. Like almost every weekend, maybe not every weekend, but I would just take a bottle of like brandy, start sipping, and start watching it. And I would pick up on something else that Zach put it in. You know, what's that French word? Mise en scène. You know, and I'm like, ooh, I just noticed that. Like, they're the obvious ones, like when you see 3 crosses when Superman dies. But there's like so much more going on in that movie. There's so much being said politically. I mean, it's interesting that Lex Luthor's entire thesis for wanting Superman dead is said by the African general in the beginning. And, okay, you're back. All right, all right. I thought you were going to be gone for a lot longer than. I was like, let me go into a whole tirade or whatever, but okay. But Dexter. Pina colada. Dude, I love pina coladas.
It's not alcoholic. It's just, Tropicana juice.
Yeah. You know what? I might take my mom with me to trivia night so that she can drive. I want to have a couple. I want to have some Bosteiners.
Hey, now. But No, man, Dexter's good. Homeland I haven't seen. I'm trying to think what else did we just watch? Me and Bradley have been watching a lot of stuff. We watched Scream 2 in preparation for.
Okay, let me ask you this: did you watch Scream 1? So Scream 2 is not going to be good unless you've seen Scream 1.
So Scream 2 is the only Scream movie that I have seen.
See, I love Scream 2, but it only works if you've seen the
I
first
loved it.
You loved it? I think
I loved it. I loved it. I really did. I asked, I catch on really quick.
Yeah.
With movies, I put 2 and 2 together. Like literally in the first 20 minutes and stuff. I paused it, looked at Bradley. I was like, so let me guess what happens in the first one. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Well, there's a movie. They're watching a movie of the movie in the first one.
Exactly.
Dude, Austin or Caden did watch parties. I bought it digitally so you guys could watch it. If you want to use my Voodoo, you can watch them.
I was busy with other things on Friday nights. But
sure you do. Yeah, you're doing Poindexter Lounge. You're on all Austin's like, I'm gonna be having a hot night tonight. Hey guys, I got this new issue of X-Men, and like at 2 a.m, I'm like, oh, that's what he's doing.
Hey man.
You and Bradley read comic books to each other. That's what you do.
Hey, Bradley for Christmas got me look at this. This is nice. This is Christmas gift to me. Black and
how is that?
Black and white.
Okay.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice. It's nice. It's
yes, Caden, we're talking Scream if you want to jump in.
Noir vibe.
Noir.
But
I'm gonna have to give you and Caden grammar lessons. Conservatorship.
No.
Yes.
No.
We do need grammar lessons.
No. Here's the thing.
By Jack.
Here's the thing. I'm Mexican. I can get away with this stuff.
Yeah, but you're born here.
I don't care. Porque donde está no inglés. Okay, come at me with that. I was born here. You know how quickly I'll use the race card, man. I went to a white rich kid high school. I used a race card every single night.
Oh my god,
dude! If you went to a rich white high school, kid high school, it was like
I did. I was one of 3 Mexicans. It was me, Josh, and Esteban. I'm not kidding.
There were no Mexicans in my high school.
It was Austin, Josh, and Esteban.
There were 2 black kids and like me. That was it. Like it was all like.
And it was 2 black kids.
Until high school, it was technically a rich white kid school.
Right.
Until high school, it merged the 2 schools into one. I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, see, Ty Dollar can attend.
You guys ever want to do Masterpiece Theater?
Who?
Masterpiece Theater was a round I do where I, in a monotone voice, deliver rap lyrics, and you have to guess what they are. We would definitely get demonetized.
I got it. Here we go. You better lose yourself in the moment. The music. Oh God, it's so weird when you're talking. You kind of forget the lyrics when you're talking.
Right.
Yeah. It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
It's not the same. But no. He said how could you enjoy Scream 2? You know what? Look, I just kind of.
I mean, you can.
I'm one of those, man. I buy into the fantasy. Enjoy it, like and stuff. And like. I just enjoyed it. I thought the campiness and corniness was all part of it and fun. Ghostface being as clumsy and all over the place as he is and stuff. There's this one scene in Scream 2 where he literally is chasing Michelle, what's her name? Sarah Michelle Gellar. Right. And he straight up just goes over like a chair couch thing. It just falls over it.
You know what's interesting? True story. Caden knows this, but the actor who plays the killer is always the same in all the movies.
Right.
Like except for the people who's actually,
until like the scene of them revealing the killer. That's when even when they do reveal the killer in the suit, it only did it once, and that's in Scream 3, right? Scream 3 was the only time they ever revealed the killer when he's actually wearing the actual suit. And in Scream 4. Scream 3 and 4 are the only 2 movies that actually revealed the killer when they took off the mask, and it was actually like them under the mask. While the other ones, it was always like they always are out of the suit already, and they're like revealing themselves. Billy and Stu were revealing themselves when they weren't even in the suit. and then with
And also,
Billy
by the way,
losing his
this
mom, Mrs. Loomis, and Timothy Oliphant's character, they were both out of this costume.
and
All right.
this is how quickly I caught on to Scream. Right, Scream to both of them. I guessed the killer about 45 minutes into the movie.
Which one? Both of them, or just?
I guessed one. I was right. So I was right on that. It was Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah, and
And
the second one, he literally looks like nice twist, but you didn't see it coming. It's like
No,
Right.
now
It's like we knew it was
I
coming.
didn't guess her, but I
you
did
think it was
guess that
kinda weird?
I did guess that it was going to be a duo.
Okay.
I mean, it's
did
always
get-
a duo.
I
It's
did
always
guess that it was
duo.
but I had no context to that.
All right,
Well,
guys,
the
you
third-
guys
yeah,
ready?
except for the third movie.
Tell me this. Tell me the song. Beat it up, N-word. Catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this
Oh, I
pussy right in your face. Swipe your nose.
Oh,
Click
it's
it
a Cardi
hard.
B song.
Yep.
It's,
I hop on top. I want to ride. I do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth. Look into my eyes.
I
This
know what
pussy
this
is wet.
is.
Come
It the
take
new
a
one?
dive.
Oh,
Yeah,
WAP.
it's like from a year ago. WAP or
Yeah.
WAP or whatever.
Yeah, it's WAP. Cardi B. Yeah, Austin's like, what in the world?
Yeah, that's how it sounds like. Or how about this? You don't know me. You're too old. Let go. It's over. Nobody listens to techno. Now let's go. Just give me the signal. I'll be there with a whole new list full of insults. I've been dope, suspenseful, with a pencil, ever since Prince turned himself into a symbol. But sometimes that shit just seems everybody only wants to discuss me. So this must mean I'm disgusting. But that's just me. I'm just obscene. Though I'm not the first king of controversy, I am the worst thing since Elvis Presley to do black music so selfishly and to use it to get myself wealthy. You know that song "Without Me" by Eminem? Now this looks like.
Oh, there we go.
So
Yes,
everybody,
yes.
just follow. But
All
like,
right, I got a good one. I got a good one for you.
Yeah, I'm reading this by the way. You can't like do it off the top of your head.
Yeah, I had to
I
pull up the lyrics. I had to pull up the lyrics. All right, here we go.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
I liked
Okay.
this last
Yes.
season of it. Did not like the first two.
All right, here we go. Whenever life gets you down, keeps you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind.
Oh,
And when you're all out of hope, and you're at the end of your rope, and nobody's there to throw you a line. If you ever get so low that you don't know which way to go, come and take a walk in my shoes. Never worry about a thing. Got the world on a string. 'Cause I've
like
got the
Jim
cure for all of my blues. I take a look at my enormous penis, and my
What?
troubles start melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and my happy times are coming to stay. I got a scene
the
and a
heck?
dance when I glance in my pants, and I'm feeling like a sunshiny day. And I take a look at my enormous pee-hee-hee-ness, and everything is going my way.
Oh. Is it?
Anyone want to
honestly,
take a guess what song
is it
that
Lance
was?
in my pants with Lonely Island? Is it Lonely Island, right?
No, not at all.
Who is it?
Oh my god.
That is Enormous Penis by Da Vinci's Notebook. They are a barbershop quartet.
Oh, okay.
Highly
Okay.
recommend.
I
listening
got
to
one.
that
I
song
got
on
Two.
your own
You got one,
I got
Kate?
one.
'Cause I got two popular
Okay.
songs no one ever gets it because they can't
Okay.
hear them.
I do
got
have
one.
a popular one though next. I
got one. Here we go again. Oh wait, no, that's not.
Yeah, you can't say it like you got to be careful not to sing it.
Yeah.
My meat is a murderer. I didn't even know that was a lyric in this.
Hold on, I need to find a different song.
All right, let me.
My,
I got it
my
right here.
Strouser monster. That's what
Here we go. Here we go. So again, for anyone joining us, I call this masterpiece theater. I do this at Quizzo. I say rap lyrics in a very sustained, and you have to guess the song. Shorty crunk, so fresh, so clean. Can she? That question, being harassing me. In the mind, this bitch is fine, I done came to the club about 50 to 11 times. Now, can I play with yo panty line? The club owner said I need to calm down. Security guards gonna sweating me now. We got drunk, then a mother threatened me now. She getting crunk in the club. I mean, she work it. And then I like to see the female twerking, taking her clothes off, effing naked. ATL ho, don't disrespect it.
Oh my god.
That's a very popular song. To the windows, to the wall. All right, now this one, even people I know who hate rap music know it, but when I say it like this, they can't understand it, right? This is a very popular one. When I pull up out front, you see the Benz on dubs.
Oh, I
When
know
roll
this.
20 deep, it's 20 knives in the club. N-word nerd, I F with Dre. Now they want to show me love. When you sell like M&Ms and the hose, they want to... Look, homie, ain't nothing changed.
Ain't nothing
Hose
changed.
down, G's up. I see exhibit in the cut. Hey, N-word, roll that weed up. If you watch how I move, you'll mistake me for a player or pimp. Been hit with a few shells, but I don't walk with a limp.
Is that Snoop and
Nope.
Dre song?
Nope. Although I have that one too. That's in the club. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
No, not.
Dun. Whoa.
No, hold on.
See, no. When I roll 20 deep, it's 20 knives in the club. Like everyone's like, "Oh my god, we know that song." So no, it's called In the Club. Dun 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 dun.
I know that one, but there's.
But the Snoop Dogg
oh,
gin
the
is used to
Snoop.
have this. Everybody got they cups, ain't they chipped in? Now this types of shit happens all the time. You got to get yours, but fool, I got to get mine. Everything is fine when you're listening to the D.O.G. I got the cultivating music that be captivating he who listens to the words that I speak as I take me a drink to the middle of the street and get to mackin' to this bitch named Sadie. She used to be the homeboy's lady. 80 degrees when I tell that bitch, please raise off these NUTs because you can't get none of these. And everyone, first of all, they get a huge kick out of it because it's funny to hear it like that. But then they're like, oh my God, that's Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg. And then without the music, without the beats, and by the way, when I do trivia, I don't use this voice. I use a different voice, like, welcome to Tuesday Night Trivia here at the
Right. You got your announcer voice.
No, I'm not kidding. Like I do. All right, folks, number 2 is coming up. Remember, you can't put your phones out like kind of like that. And so when I do it in that voice, first of all, people get a kick about it. They think it's hilarious. Especially one time I did I did a Nicki Minaj song, and it was just
Okay. I think I got one now. 1 2 1 2 3. Yeah. I was working part-time in a 5 and dime. My boss was Mr. McGee. He told me several times that he didn't like my kind because I was a bit too leisurely. He seems that I was busy doing something close to nothing, but different than that the day before. That's when I saw her. Oh yeah, I saw her. She walked through out the door. She wore a raspberry beret, the kind you find in the secondhand store. And it was warm. She would have worn it much more. Built like she was, she had never asked me if I planned to do her any harm. So look here. I put her in the back of my bike, and we went riding down Old Man's Johnson's farm. I think I said like the lyric right twice.
Yeah.
No idea.
I said it like twice.
Oh, down by Old Man Johnson's farm?
No, it's Raspberry Beret.
Raspberry.
Prince.
There's a Prince song called. Whatever. Okay, yeah. But anyway, yeah. So that's Masterpiece Theater. I do that.
Masterpiece Theater. No, man, that's fun. I mean,
It's really funny. I always love playing rap music during music rounds at the German club. They get so mad.
Right.
They do. Dude, that place is filled with like old Germans, like literally old Germans, like from 70 years old. But
let's see if you can guess this one.
Speaking of old Germans, Peacemaker.
It's yes. Yep.
Oh my God. So here's my issue with Peacemaker. Sometimes the humor, like remember that little thing I just did, which I didn't plan, where I'm like, I wear aviators because of Top Gun. I don't like your
Yeah,
yellow
right.
sweater. It looks like Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh. Who doesn't love Winnie the Pooh? Winnie the Pooh is awesome. And then like that type of dialogue, which Joss Whedon made popular because he does it in Buffy, and now like every movie or show does it. Marvel does it all the time. And like I felt like I was like, I feel like James Gunn writes like that, but then he just adds in a couple of more words, to make it a little spicier. But
Right.
I hope that this takes off because I think Peacemaker has a lot riding on its shoulder because Suicide Squad, unfortunately, was not as much of a hit as I think they thought it was going to be. Part of that was the dual release. Part of that was COVID. Part of it was that there was a lot of negative press around the first film that non-comic book fans just didn't care. Like a lot of people, I was like, is everyone going to go see the new Suicide Squad? They're like, oh yeah, that last one sucked. I'm like, no, but this is by the guy who made Guardians of the Galaxy. They were just like, they shrugged their shoulders. Like they're not making that connection. They're like, oh, it's just a sequel to a bad movie. Doesn't matter who's directing it, And I think this could be what saves it because I have some issues with it, but I like to be positive. I am enjoying this way more than any of the Disney Plus stuff, and not because the Disney Marvel stuff. I'm not including the Mandalorian or anything. But what do you think of this extra cast? I feel like a lot of these characters are a little too much. The guy at the bottom right-hand corner, the dye-beard guy, kind of ticks me off. For someone who's in the presence of someone who's a psychopath, so if Peacemaker's a psychopath, I would not be talking to him. Like if I was in a room with Charles Manson, I would not be making fun of Charles Manson or OJ. You know what I mean? And this dude,
I think
the guy at the bottom right, the dye beard, he's always saying stuff to Peacemaker. I'm like, dude, like careful. Like Chris Rock makes his joke, like, yeah.
I don't know. Peacemaker doesn't come off as Charles Manson or OJ.
No, but like they talk about him like he's a psychopath. Like, yo, this guy's a psychopath. He's a murderer. He's horrible. He's been in jail.
Well, he is. I mean, look, but it's different.
But I'm like, would you talk to someone like that who's like, in the military and all like?
Dude. Because guess what? Yeah, guess what? Come at me, dude. I'll blow your freaking head off.
Right.
I got the end.
Yeah,
because
also Peacemaker's stupid. He's not gonna. He also he has a rule to himself. He has a rule to himself that he can only kill people who commit crimes.
Yeah.
And so John Ekamos hasn't technically committed any crime where Peacemaker would have to kill him for.
Okay, all right. I just thought like it was a little too like, dude, punch this dude in the face. And anyway,
also he can blow his brains out.
Corner, I got a lot of Deadpool vibes. The way he Vigilante. I got a lot of Deadpool vibes. Like, hey man, what's going on? I'm over here hanging out by your window. I swear to you, I'm not touching my. It seemed like a lot like he literally was kind of miming almost. What's his name? Ryan Reynolds.
A little bit.
It wasn't a bad character. I just felt like a little too similar to Ryan Reynolds, like the way he gave the delivery.
I mean, he's definitely a lot more, his characters.
Goofy.
Yeah.
I also like how Peacemaker dresses like Peacemaker all the time. Like he doesn't have like normal clothes.
He has social skills that aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
As Peacemaker said, like, oh, you're Dud's Chase younger brother, Adrian. He's like, and like you're the guy who's just whenever I came over, you're playing D&D with your friends or whatever.
He goes, since then I've turned my body into a weapon.
Vigilance or something like that. I was like, he's the dork that looked up to Christopher the wrong way, It's like
there's one scene where, like, for example, I felt like the dialogue kind of got a little too far. Is where I'm not going to give spoilers out because I know some people haven't seen it, but it's not really a spoiler. When Vigilante is outside Peacemaker's window, he's like, dude, are you like touching yourself? I'm gonna paraphrase it in PG. Are you touching yourself while looking at me? Like, dude, I swear I'm not touching myself. It's not how you could look. No, dude, is that what you like doing? You like watching me while I do this? And then that conversation, and I get it, it's adult humor, you're trying to push the edge. But at that point, it kind of got gratuitous. He's like, look, it's not out. Oh, okay. I was like, okay, you could have. By the way, how hot was the chick from the bar? She had like that crazy 80s hair that he picks up.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
But you haven't watched episode 2 yet, right?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I have. I know what happened. Freedom!
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yep.
I wish I could make that a transition and like make that like a video we could post, but we can't.
Oh god, no.
Can we blur that out? Like freedom.
Either way, I'm sure we'll get stricken by Warner Brothers.
Even like 3 seconds, like freedom. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I hope Dave's not watching that show, but I gotta say, I am entertained. It is better than I thought it was going to be, and I like how each episode, as opposed to Boba Fett, there is a contained story within there. Obviously, it's like an arc, but like episode 1, it's his own story. Episode 2, it's his own story. Episode 3, like there's like a beginning, middle, and end. And I feel like
and there's some stakes. It kind of feels like they're dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. We did the rap thing, and everyone disappeared. Everyone's like, "We're done."
Right? Yeah.
Everyone's like, "We're done."
Did
but
you guys just see Jeremy Irons talk about Justice League and Snyder Cut?
What did he say?
Let me bring it up.
Yeah, pull that up. I'm curious what he said about that, because I know back in the day he said that Justice League was going to be a more focused story than Batman in like 2016 or something.
So he was talking to someone from Variety, and so the person from Variety said, "You played Alfred Pennyworth in Justice League. Have you watched the Snyder Cut?" And Jeremy says, "Strangely, I think I have it, and I haven't seen it. I shall hunt it out and see if I have it somewhere online or on the DVD." I remember talking to Zach before he did it and being very interested to see what he came up with. It couldn't have been worse. You mean Justice League couldn't have been worse? I don't think it could have been. Could it? I thought it was dreadful. Well, so did I. So yeah, like
remember, as far as he knows, he only knows about the scenes that he was in, probably, like how different it is. He probably doesn't know like that the entire rest of the movie. Like these actors, they're not following this stuff as much as we are. Like obviously Ben and all, but like Jeremy Irons is an actor's actor. When he was done with Justice League, he already wasn't realizing there was like 3 hours of alternate footage in there. But so
right.
So anyway, Austin, I think you got to go. I got to head to the German club and do trivia, and they're going to be checking your papers. So when you walk in, you got to have your vaccine card. They'll be like, "Can we see your papers, please?"
I'm seeing Scream tonight.
Oh, you're seeing it tonight? I'm going to go see it this weekend some point. I'm
Me
avoiding
and Brad
spoilers,
are
man. I hope no one spoils it.
Oh, I think I was already spoiled with one thing, but it's.
Oh, don't even talk about
I'm
it.
not going to say it. No, I'm not. No.
Well, when it was at 93%, I got worried because when horror movies get too many good reviews, they're usually boring as hell, like Midsummer or like Hereditary. But like when they're in the 60s or 70s, I'm like, okay, it's a good movie then.
Right.
Like, it's gonna be at least entertaining. Like,
Justice League is terrible. Justice League is terrible. Yes, he did say. But yeah, no, man, definitely good stuff.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shorter show today. It's funny, I woke up so early, got so much done, but then something happened, and we literally started like 10 minutes late. But robbed you guys at 10 minutes. But I do appreciate the support, Caden. Get the button ready. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. You got stuff happening this weekend, I think. Ty's got a video coming out later tonight, so make sure you hit the notification button so when we upload videos, you guys get a chance to see. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. We want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Austin. I want to thank Caden. I want to thank Ty. I appreciate everyone for being here tonight. Remember, we do it for you, and we do it for the culture. Kevin, get in here!